Margaret Sixel is an Australian and South African film editor who worked on countless movies with her husband and collaborator, George Miller. During her early career, she studied film editing at the Australian Film, Television and Radio School until 1984. Sixel began her career as an assistant editor and dubber for the 1984 miniseries, The Last Bastion.
If Singapore falls, it's not Britain or America who have to worry, it's us.
Margaret Sixel edited Miller's animated jukebox musical comedy film Happy Feet and comedy drama Babe, Pig in the City, before her big break in Mad Max Fury Road.
Again, worming their way into the black matter of my brain.
Help us, Max. You promised to help us.
I tell myself, they cannot
signifying a
touch
shift in Sixel's overall direction in editing. Until 2009, George Miller credited Sixel with editing a film genre which he had no prior experience in.
And in her case, I've learned at certain moments to just let her do her own thing, because she's the one editor I've worked with who often can see things that I can't see.
Despite never working in the action genre, Miller influenced Sixel's decision to collaborate in the award-winning film, Mad Max. Margaret found this a particularly difficult task, as she has no experience in creating an action film. In an interview, she stated, "Editing this film was tough because there's very little dialogue, which is how scenes are structured, so the options are endless. It was a relief to find a scene with dialogue." Ford was explaining that the overall orchestration was more challenging than any one scene. Every sequence had a huge number of hours put into it, and every scene had to earn its place.
You Mad Max initially because you didn't see yourself as cutting an action movie. Has this experience changed your mind about action genre?
Yes, actually a lot of fun to cut. I've learned so much on it. Cutting this is extremely difficult film, and I just feel it would be a shame, not to take that knowledge onto another film.
With an 8.30 out of 10 rating on Tomatometer and 98% recommendation from critics, Mad Max Fury Road's success can be credited towards the editing style and technical format by Margaret Sixel herself. The post-apocalyptic adventure editing style was put into work through eye trace and crosshair framing, techniques which were vital for keeping the visual information at the center of the frame. Sixel's editing style in Mad Max Fury Road and Furiosa helped to communicate the themes of chaos, survival, and order. This is particularly shown in scenes of actions which is complemented by techniques of crosshair framing, a technique that keeps the action to be consistently guided within the center of the frame. Each scene had an intentioned position to center or overlap a previous shot to occupy the same space for visual formatting. It allows Margaret Sixel to edit the visuals by carefully maintaining focus on the characters and other elements, ensuring visual contrast amidst high-speed and action scenes. Without it, the edits would be noticeable and disfiguring. Overall, the pacing and rhythm of Mad Max action scenes meant that the editing sequences had to be fluid and precise. Averaging 22 cuts per minute, fast cuts and quick transitions were used to amplify an adrenaline rush. This reflects Sixel's direction with eye tracing, where she wants the viewer to look at, which was a critical decision to amplify the intense sequences whilst maintaining a narrative coherence. The emotional depth in Mad Max is shown through the editing techniques, which were important to the character arc, building tension and evoking emotion through precise choices that Margaret Sixel has made. This shows her meticulous attention to detail. The emotional depth of characters was well portrayed in Furiosa by using slower editing techniques and cuts between Max and Furiosa. Amid chaos, Sixel created a sense of connection between the characters despite the lack of dialogue. This evoked a sense of deep emotion and connection for the audience to reflect on. Margaret Sixel's work, paired with George Miller's inspirational filmmaking, has impacted the industry by contributing toward the revolutionized aspect of film editing. Sixel's artistic style and approach to film editing has reflected a unique way of evoking deep storytelling and rhythm in our craft. This garnered attention from professionals within the industry, in which later gave her recognition for Best Editing at the Oscars. Her award was well deserved as she worked a grueling schedule, often editing 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, to shape the 2-hour film from roughly 470 hours of footage.